Hey, what's up, everybody? You know who it is. Um, so recently I had that's a piece of artwork I did some last year around the middle of summer. It's a cat. I'm gonna scan it or whatever. From here, it looks like on top of his crown it says 666. That's not what it says. I see that. No, that's not what that is. And then with this, no, that's not what that is. But I was watching, right? So this is topics about fitting in and shit. Where are we at in societally as people? Okay, so we got this guy, shout out to Razcast. He put the cherry on top when he said this. So he said when he left high school, he went to the 13th grade. And this was on bag fuel. Shout out to Oso and Heineken and all that. He was like, when he got to 13th grade, he explained it. He said, I was in high school again. He said, because when I got into the industry, it was like being in high school. He said it was all these cliques. Now, I'm going to tie this in later to my trip to Atlanta and my experience there. He was like, well, what happened was you had people, because he was from the West Coast and he was a lyricist, and he's dope, Razcast. He said he was too New York for the West Coast, and it was too West Coast for New York, and he just didn't fit in anywhere. He wasn't backpack. He called them the Chew Stick Brothers. He didn't fit in with the Talib Kweli thing or whatever scene or whatever. And it's funny because when you think of music and art, we're all different and creative and weird in our own way. But you get these little pockets. My experience living in New York, I wasn't the battle rapper, but I hung out with them. I wasn't the underground kid, but I hung out with them. I wasn't the goth emo kid, but I hung out with them. And a lot of all that influenced a lot of what you see now and hear now. I wasn't a graph guy, but my artwork is is inspired by graffiti and street art. So I'm gonna tie that in with the whole Atlanta scene when I was there. It was real funny because when it comes to entertainment, that's what comes with it. And so when he said his statement and told his truth about his experience, it was a cherry on top of the cake of my logic, because I was like, dang, that reminds me when I talk to people at labels in New York, they said, oh, you're a disruptor. So when he said what he said, it made sense. And then when I got to Atlanta, when I moved to Atlanta, I couldn't believe it, even on a local scene. It's very cliquey. We have these different pockets. We got the kids who do lo-fi. We got the trap kids over here. We got the emo punk, whatever kids who rap, whatever, over here. And I never really fit in. It was always find your tribe. No, I don't need a group of people. So what I'm going to say is I'm grateful for that. And if you're anything like me, this is why I make the music I make. This is why I make the art that I make. There's nothing I can't do. We're all as creatives like a tree. We all have multiple branches. The key to it is, especially for me, what I'm doing now, is bringing you into my world and making these vlogs so you understand what you're seeing and watching, and it's clear and concise and makes sense to you. Not like some random post, but if that's what it is my page, and if that's how I choose to post, that's how I choose to post. So we really got to get off of that, because it makes no sense. God gives us all a gift, and it's like man wants to tell you where it goes. Man wants to tell you how to market it. There's way too much internet space for us, dude. There's way too many venues out here for us to perform at. Everybody values their creativity. Everybody values what they have. But you got to also remember, you can't put yourself in circles where people will diminish your light or see what they can get and not give back. You may post your artwork up on a street corner somewhere. People may want to come and look. They're not buying, but they want you to take a picture with them. Take a picture of them. You're getting something but not leaving anything. I hope that made sense to you just now. Like when he said that, that really struck a nerve. This scene thing, man, we got to stop that. I used to hang around punk kids in Chicago. You know what they told me? Dude, you're punk. You know why they said that? They said the way you see the world in being a black man, at the time my hair was bleached blonde. Being a black man and you're a bleached blonde brother on the south side of Chicago, hanging out on 79th and all through 63rd and 55th and all that. We only imagine how you're looked at, and then we see how you stand up for yourself based on how people may project onto you. And then you see the societal bullshit that the African American community goes through. Whether it be rent, whether it be location, because Chicago is a very segregated city. The north side's always going to be the north side, and there's a lot of redlining. That's another topic. But anyway, yeah, it's just a lot of BS, man. I'm not the type of artist that makes art that you may appeal to, or my art may not appeal to you. That's cool. But I'm inspired by a lot. My flow has picked up because of the flow, has evolved because of the flows that I was listening to in Atlanta. And I was like, how do they do that double time, but then slow it down, but then do this? Because at first, I was still regular Mela Nix. I wasn't rapping like I rap now. And sometimes that restrictive behavior from certain scenes placed upon somebody may cause them to be even more rebellious in their art form. Yeah, sometimes, you know, I could be the artist. I'm painting a picture of how I see myself. You walk into a gallery, you see a piece on the wall, but you see the artist in the corner standing there looking at you, looking at his painting. He doesn't say anything. You're trying to figure out what you're looking at. That's how I feel when I post things. That's why I'm making this vlog. So I clarify and let you know I do art visually and vocally. I'm also into 3D art toys. I'm into 3D printing. I'm looking at some things online. You know, I'm more than just an MC. I'm more than just an alternative rap artist. That's what I basically am. Art rap. I'm an artistic rapper. I'm art rap. Maybe I'm ahead of my time. I'm not tooting my own horn. I hear a beat. Me and the beat have a conversation. That's how I create. Me and the beat have a conversation. I hear it. Ooh. Then I start seeing, well, what kind of visuals can I put on here? Because that beat is like a planet. How can I populate my planet? Well, I need to add some ground. Certain words are be visual. So I could paint this picture. So we have clouds and an atmosphere. I have to add some positivity in there so we have light for the planet. That's how I create. Words give life and can cause death. You can hinder somebody by the things you say. Words, you can give life to somebody by the things you say. That's why Proverbs says, may your words be choice silver and fine brass. I just wanted to make this vlog real quick to try to give y'all a little bit about what you're looking at and what you're saying and what you're hearing. With any further ado, I'll leave you to you. Thank you for taking time to check out my YouTube channel. And I have a lot coming. I have a lot. Thank you. And another thing, y'all need to stop getting on Instagram telling people about how to make their music. I keep saying this because that shit ain't working for everybody. People like what they like, but then again, sometimes people are programmed to like what they like. We are in a time period, you all do not want nothing positive or unique. It has to be fed to you a certain way, or it has to be co-signed to you by somebody. I don't take it personal. If man killed Jesus Christ and Christ came in the form of God, man killed God essentially. What will he do to me or you? Y'all have a nice day. I don't take none of this personal. I just wanted to speak my piece.